Level's good.
This is the Submission Piracy Toddcast number 2 with Steve Rovetti and me, Todd Jensen. Welcome, Steve.
Number 2. Well, welcome, Todd.
Again, my best Jocko impression.
That's good.
Okay.
I dig it.
Well, I'm a junior at this, so I got to, we all need mentors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, latch onto a mentor and get after it.
Yeah, we'll let it rip.
So this podcast is going to have to do, or is having to do with our current climate as far as the protests and the horrible murder of George Floyd.
Yeah.
And I wanted to use this format to get my opinion out to the gym. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Because I've been seeing some messages from the Hollywood people and some prominent people out there, and they're saying silence is, you're almost just guilty if you're silent. I don't know what the actual saying is that they were saying, but your silence speaks for itself, kind of
silence
thing.
equals violence,
right?
Whatever,
That kind of thing. So
sure.
I didn't want my silence on this to be misconstrued in any way.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
I wanted to find the proper format to talk about this, to get the feelings out, and just kind of get your opinion on certain things, and just let our people know how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So Facebook is a dumpster fire right now.
It's a nightmare.
It's people are angry. They're lashing out at each other. They don't know how to express themselves without anger.
Yep.
And if you have a different viewpoint than them, you're automatically in the wrong.
Ooh.
There's no conversation being had.
No, not at all.
It's really frustrating. I'm kind of watching it and just observing and watching people just fall apart. I mean, friendships dissolving.
Really?
Friendships dissolving.
To that degree?
Yeah.
Jesus.
People are called all sorts of names, and it's just I'm not going to get into the super delicate stuff, okay? Because I don't want I don't want that message going across or coming across to people. So I'm just going to speak to what I can speak to, my observations. Yeah. And I'm hoping to get your input as well.
Absolutely.
So there was a murder. Was it last? Oh, it was 10 days, 2 weeks ago, something like that, of George Floyd.
Well, let's, of course, we can just stop there for 1 second.
Sure.
And make sure that it's, we all know that it was a murder.
Oh, it's a murder.
Okay.
Straight.
Just like, because there's
straight. And
I'm hoping that everybody, that one point just to start, I hope everyone understands that by definition, that was murder.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Premeditated, by the way.
Absolutely.
Because you don't have to plan for it to be premeditated. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it was just, and I called it a murder straight out the gate, because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the DA has seen it that way. And,
absolutely.
And I also think that they chose murder 2 because they're more likely to get a conviction.
Yeah. Well, they graded it from 3 to 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they went with murder 2 because it's going to be an easier conviction.
Yeah.
And then with a backup of manslaughter.
Yeah. So
they have those 2. It's a super sensitive subject, but it has to be talked about. There's got to be some sort of, and again, I'm not in law enforcement, clearly, and there are 2 sides of this. There's maybe more sides, but there's got to be some sort of reform in regard to how people of color are treated. Mm-hmm. I've seen it firsthand. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have. Mm-hmm. And
absolutely.
Many of our friends have experienced it as well. And this is a tough one, because what's that going to look like? Everybody just says, "Oh, let's have some reform." It's like, well, what does that look like? You're dealing with people.
Yeah.
And people are all different. So it's like, how do you have one cookie cutter format for the police force? And that's just not how it works.
There's an interesting, that's actually the thing that's on my screen, because it's the one thing that I wanted to have in front of me. Wait till I put these glasses on, man.
Okay.
So, side note, I just want to take a sec. My glasses got scratched.
Okay.
I need to return them to Warby. I need to get another pair for the time being.
Okay.
So I got that pair.
Yes. Is that like 70s like
dude, my
porn?
family hates they hate these
I don't
glasses.
even know what to make of those.
Dude, I don't know either. I saw them and I was like, I got to just do this.
Okay.
I got to do it because honestly, they're super cheap. They're not going to be here for long. I just needed to do this.
Kind of fits your personality.
Totally hurt my family.
I love it.
Oh my God. All right. So we'll move back to the serious stuff.
Okay.
But I just honestly, I had to throw those on.
They're good glasses. I like them.
All right. So this is interesting, right? So there's a lot. So everyone's organizations, companies, corporate, everybody else, they're all coming out with their statements, right? And I think that's really important because again, when you were talking about the silence thing, we need to explain, what our stance is, whether or not we're an organization or a person or whatever. We have to make. There are people that have to make public statements.
Yep.
People that are in the public eye. This is interesting, and it talks about the thoughts about taking police power. So we're going to have to go backward. We're going to go backwards on this probably too, but this is a really interesting quote. I'm just going to read it because it's the easiest way to go. We seek. This is an organization I'm a part of. We seek to work towards placing police power in the hands of the people, which I think is where people assume that it should be anyway. But I mean, this is where it is. The policing is for the people. It's to keep people safe, protect the peace, all that other stuff. The first step toward achieving this would be to take oversight out of the hands of internal affairs, where police oversee themselves, and instead create a body of elected citizens charged with reviewing police misconduct. Another meaningful measure would be to create a separate prosecutor to handle criminal actions perpetrated by police. The district attorney's office has strong ties to the police and has repeatedly demonstrated that cannot be relied on to act appropriately and dispassionately. Interesting. Very interesting.
So they're talking about like a citizen oversight committee.
So this is basically taking the police power. They want to work towards placing police power in the hands of the people, meaning that it would be the oversight of police would be out of the DA's hands, and it would be more of a group of elected citizens, a more democratic way to basically manage misconduct in the police.
Interesting.
In the police force. Interesting.
Interesting. Hey,
Very
I got
interesting.
Dude, those glasses are killing me because they got like a reflection of your screen.
I don't need them anymore.
So it looks like
I know they're killing you.
Oh, it's killing me. I'm like, because when you look into the sun and they have like you get those spots in your eyes, like because the way they reflect off your screen, I'm like,
yeah, it's horrible.
Oh my gosh,
dude, they're horrible in every single way.
Okay, well, that's fine. Hey,
I mean, I know they're horrible. I got them for them to be horrible.
I know.
I'll just hit zoom on my screen.
All right.
So that's interesting. I mean, that was long form, and I apologize, but I thought that was one of the most interesting because I've seen a lot of different organizations talk about, what they want to do, but it's very nebulous. It doesn't really they don't really have specific points of things that they really want to just like, hey, let's hit the ground running, and this is what we think could be a solution immediately, as opposed to like, praying and hoping that things are changed. I like the fact that this organization came out and said, here are some things that we think could be effective and could be an idea to move this in the right direction now. Right. So I think that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I like it as far as like a more democratic way of doing things. And I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, some citizen oversight, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. But it gets touchy because I can't really speak on this because I'm not law enforcement. Yeah. I don't have an attorney background. I don't have any of that. So it's easy for you and I just to say, yes, citizen oversight. Yeah. We need that. Because what's good for the court, a trial by jury. Yeah. Why couldn't it work for the police force? Yeah. As far as like an oversight, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. truthfully.
It's tough. I mean, taking pieces and parts of this would be interesting. It would be interesting to see. And there's, this is just. I'm not saying whether this is right or wrong. I just think it's some interesting ideas, and I like the way that they put together some solutions right off the rip.
Yeah.
As soon as this happened, they had some solutions, and they wanted to say, like, this is one of the things that we see that this could be a first step in better oversight. And that's one of the things that's a real issue. And again, when we look at these cases, this is a case that we know of because we saw it. How many cases have happened
throughout history
that we haven't seen? I mean, it's epidemic as far as I'm concerned, and it's racism is real. Things haven't changed. There was somebody talking the other day about, this was the tipping point. I'm like, dude, this was not the tipping point. Like, which one?
Yeah.
We've been dealing with this. I mean,
there's got to be one that's going to break the camel's back, though. There's got to be one.
What did people think Rodney King was the one that broke the camel's back? Did people know. I don't know. What is it going to take?
That might have been the first. And again, I've only been on this earth 43 years, but that might have been the first really public video of a black man being severely beaten by police.
I mean, that was again, I don't know the background. I mean, there's other stuff that happened, obviously, riots back in the 60s and stuff like that, where there was police brutality and there was a lot of racism and stuff involved in that.
Yep, you're right.
But this was something that was, I mean, the Rodney King thing was a whole other ballgame, I think, because it was multiple outlets and the way that media was served is different. And that was horrible. That was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. The Rodney King thing was absolutely heartbreaking, and you would have thought that there would have been more movement towards.
Yeah.
But I think, is the question of, like, people just become complacent and apathetic when they feel like they're not seeing it anymore. When they don't see cases like this in the news, well, then it's not real anymore. And it's not happening anymore. It happens every day.
I see that.
Stuff happens every day. So that's a rough one, man.
Yeah, it is. And,
this is all rough. It's heartbreaking.
That was almost 30 years ago. Rodney King.
Again, like tipping point. Like
why
this was the tipping
30
point?
years ago, and it's still going on.
Yeah.
So it's, and the one thing I am noticing, though, when you look at these cases where the police are actually going to trial, there's been more convictions as of late. If you look at some of the, and I don't have any of that data in front of me, but I was looking at a document the other day, and it showed, let's go back 10 years.
Sure.
Innocent, acquitted. And then as of recent, I've seen more convictions.
Interesting.
So I think, and I'm hoping that there is going to be some more of this to deter police from or those police, the people that think they can do wrong.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to group all the police together because that's not accurate.
Nope.
There's a lot of good officers out there.
There sure are.
So, there has to be, something done in that regard. So, I don't know. It's just frustrating, dude. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I was never a police officer, but I do have a criminal justice degree. So I decided not to go into law enforcement after I got through.
I didn't know that's what your degree was in.
It's not in design.
Criminal justice?
I have a criminal justice degree, and I also have a sociology degree.
Look at you.
So, but whatever. I mean, but again, like, I look at it, and the reason why I didn't go into law enforcement, I had my own personal reasons. There were things for me that I saw that I wanted to see fixed before I decided to be, part of indoctrinated, whatever. Yeah. It was my personal choice. And then I went and sold mountain climbing equipment, and
the rest was history.
Became a designer. But I mean, it doesn't matter whether you have a degree or not. Right from wrong,
right?
You know it. But I think right from wrong is based on a lot more than just. I think it's a cultural thing. I think where you live and how you're brought up and what your belief systems are.
Oh, absolutely. It's part of your tribe, right? It's your tribe. So
and that's the difficulty of the racism stuff is, that if it's ingrained,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to break it. You know, it's hard to break.
So you had mentioned right from wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. In regard to jiu-jitsu,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. We don't have to put the video up of George Floyd. Everybody's seen it, right?
Yeah.
Can we agree to that?
Yep.
We've all seen the knee on the back of the neck, and the man dying in agony. So I don't think we need to see it.
I didn't want to see it
or put it on the podcast.
Damn,
But the reason why I bring this up is because there's just a clear lack of training involved in that. If that guy, if that officer, and I don't even want to freaking say his name, if he had any training as far as, I don't care what, judo, wrestling, any kind of grappling art that understands pressure, his knee wouldn't have been there.
No, not at all.
Why did he have to put a knee on his neck to keep him down? I've kept people down by putting a knee on belly.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Knee on shoulder, knee on back, whatever. Yeah. Okay. And knowing where to put pressure is what keeps the person there.
Exactly.
Not putting it over his neck.
No.
And while the man is pleading for his life.
Pleading. Yeah.
The guy's just keeping it there, and it was heartless. He didn't care.
Yeah, he didn't care.
He didn't care.
It was I think it was a clear, you know, case of when you look, at least what I looked at is this guy did not consider the person that he was at that point killing to be human.
No,
it was inhumane.
I mean, it was part of the job.
Completely just like, and the thing is, why would there be a reason why you wouldn't take your knee off? That guy was not going anywhere at that point. I mean, I'm sorry,
right.
He was not going anywhere. You had multiple officers around there.
That's the thing, yes.
Come on.
So the second camera angle, which was interesting, okay, showed two other officers on top of him, okay? One kneeling on his back, and then one controlling his legs.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way he's getting up.
But if those officers had any kind of training, they'd be, oh, got it, no problem. I'll subdue this guy.
Yep, exactly.
No problem. Put an arm behind him, pin him, you know, keep him down. No problem. If they had any kind of training. It shouldn't take three to restrain this guy.
It's true.
I know he was big. I know he's strong.
Yeah.
But it's a clear lack of training and morals, obviously, because the guy just didn't even consider him human, like you said.
That's a fucked up cocktail, man.
Yeah. So,
man,
I wish, and I've trained officers, okay, and they've all said the same thing to me. There is no like jiu-jitsu kind of training or anything like that going on in the department. That's recurring.
Yeah.
You know, they go to the academy, they get some training there, that kind of thing. But there's no like continuing training as far as like how to restrain properly. You know, and I might be wrong in that respect because I can't speak for all departments, but just talking to the officers that I know, that they're taught a few things and they use what works in the street.
Yeah.
And that kind of becomes their training through repetition.
Yeah.
So, you know, but there should be real training for officers.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course I'm biased. I like jiu-jitsu, but it works.
It works. It works.
It works.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used it in street fights.
Yeah.
College.
College.
But, after college. You know, I'll give you an example. Had a person that I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Went after someone he knew.
Yeah.
I got in the middle. He took a swing. He went down. I went down. Okay. Because I was going to get in the way of the punch. Wrapped him up in guard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then put him in a nasty arm triangle.
Ugh.
All right. So he's sitting there. You know, my wife rolls up. Get off my husband. I'm like, honey, I got it.
Yeah, I
got this. You know, get that person out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then after that, it was just like, are we done?
Yeah.
You know, and then it ended after that. And I'm not going to get into specifics, but It works.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
No
I have
doubt.
officers that use it in the street.
Yeah.
And it works. And guess what? Everyone's going home because they properly restrain the person.
Exactly.
So the lack of training, and I'm not going to speak for all departments, but there is a clear lack of.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that there is
crazy.
more training in that regard, because improper training is why this man died.
Yeah. Partly. The other, I don't know what's going through the guy. I literally am not that guy that killed this guy.
Right.
I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know. I'll tell you that it's murder, straight up.
Yep.
There's no question. I'm terrified. I'm absolutely goddamn terrified if this guy's acquitted. I would be blown away if it happened, right? Because it would be. You want to talk about a tipping point?
Well,
that would be a fucking tipping point.
And here's this, and this. I didn't want to cut you off there.
No, go ahead, man.
So now there's additional information coming out. Okay, that the news is going to spin, and that the defense attorneys are going to spin. They said he had COVID. He had tested positive for COVID. Okay, he had fentanyl in his system. And there, so that you see your face right now.
God, come on.
Okay, so now and he had underlying conditions of heart disease, high blood. I don't have the coroner's report in front of me, but there were some underlying conditions there as well. So now the defense is going to say, well, he clearly died of coronavirus. He was sick. He tested. He was positive for the marker. He was asymptomatic, but that could have definitely contributed to his death.
Can you imagine?
Do
you imagine? I don't even want to. Honestly,
they're going to spin. They're going to spin the drugs. They're going to spin because apparently he had criminal history, and they're going to spin that he had COVID.
They're going to do everything they can to ensure that this was something that you got to see both sides of the. I understand both sides is important. It's absolutely important in all of this, and that's something that we can talk about, for forever, all day today. We can talk about the fact that people are looking at this from different perspectives in a lot of ways. It just is what it is. It's straight up murder. If you call it anything else, you're doing a disservice to everyone. Mm-hmm. Everyone. That you're doing a disservice to all of the communities around the country that are being affected by this. You're doing a disservice to the police force.
Right.
You're doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice to everyone to call it anything but murder.
Right.
And for there to be an acquittal would be my faith is pretty low right now. Anyway, with a lot of the stuff that's going on that has to do with government and administration and everything else, things should be done. They should be being done differently right now. That is not happening. It is like you say, it's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire all over the place. But I'm terrified, man. If this is something that if that starts to become something that people are actually considering. I know the defense attorneys absolutely are starting to pull that together right now because that's their job.
Sure.
But God, I can't imagine. I laugh, but it's like
it's a disgusted.
It's a disgusted
laugh,
sick laugh. That's got to be bad. Yeah. I'm heartbroken on so many different levels, and with COVID being COVID, and with all of the things that we have to be dealing with right now, for this to be just layering. I just you look at the memes and it's like, all right, we have a super volcano that's coming, that's going to erupt in late. It's it's due to erupt at some point soon. We have a insane hurricane season this year.
Right.
I'm just like 2020,
dude.
Wrong fucking hole. Get out of here,
dude. I had up on my board here. I had my goals. I always set my goals for the year.
Yeah.
Fuck. Canceled. Yeah. The whole year canceled.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we could look back in the fall and be like, dude, remember that?
I
can't believe that this was going to be the year. It's like, this is the year, man.
I know,
this is gonna be awesome.
Right?
I can't wait, because 2019 wasn't that great either.
No, it wasn't.
So I was like, this is it. No, nope, it's another test.
I just wanted to train more, fight more, whatever in 2020.
Yeah,
and
another test.
Ooh, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the thing is goals are goals, and you can shift them. right? I mean,
Sure.
you can move that stuff around.
It's a working document.
You can look at this situation that we're in right now, and we can, what we need to do is figure out who is going to help lead the charge to change these things that need to be changed. We're in a different place now. We're in a totally different place now. I mean, it's like I was saying, I'm heartbroken for the whole scene. I'm heartbroken. I'm absolutely 100% heartbroken for my kids too.
Having to watch
I got
this.
2 teenage kids. They have to watch this, and at the same time, the barrage. When you talked about Facebook before, Jesus Christ, man, Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, honestly, TikTok, some of the stuff I see from the riots and stuff that's happening on TikTok is insane too. And my kids are plugged into this stuff. That's how they communicate with their friends. But now they're also being barraged by this stuff. And the thing that I see, and I'm just heartbroken by all of it. But one of the things that I see is that because of the way that social media works, one person will put together one statement, one meme, and it'll be a picture and it'll be some words. Now, it doesn't matter what they even are, right? Mm-hmm. They could be right, wrong, indifferent, apathetic, totally improper humor, like, dude, too soon kind of stuff, all of that stuff. What ends up happening is someone will see that and it might resonate. Some of it might resonate with them, and they pass it along and they pass it along. So all of a sudden these things become, viral in the social media space, and they're wrong. They're just straight up
just
wrong.
Not factual.
And they're knee-jerk reactions or hip shot reactions to things that are not based in reality. None of these are based in reality. I mean, I hear people saying, we need to just completely get rid of the police completely. That's it.
Well,
just
mob
get
justice.
rid of them. Well, where does that lead?
Mob justice?
Think about what these people are saying, though, man. I mean, but these are these things, and, Griffin and Cullen, they both come to me and they're like, look at this.
Yeah.
And luckily they have the ability to be objective, right? They're well-traveled. I love my kids. They're smart kids. But the barrage of stuff that's coming right now, it's nonstop. You can't touch this.
It's a torrent of information.
Unbelievable. And that's
changing by the hour or minute sometimes.
Yeah, it's rough. I feel for them. I mean, I feel for them. Mm-hmm. It is a hard scene.
They're at the age where we were when Rodney King happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right around there.
Basically, yeah, that's it.
Your kids are on that age. And so they're seeing it firsthand just like we did. And, it was awful. And
I knew it was wrong back then.
Of course.
I knew it was wrong.
It's just, not to, I don't want to go back on that, but
yeah,
it's just, it hasn't changed. So
it hasn't changed.
What's really disheartening, okay, is watching these peaceful protests become violent.
Yeah,
and these
a bummer as well.
These people infiltrating the protests.
Yep.
And all of a sudden we have this, I shouldn't say we, but maybe the public has a negative view now.
Yeah.
Of the protests, because the protests should be firm.
Mm-hmm.
Make your voice heard.
Absolutely.
In mass.
Yep.
To show that this is not tolerated.
Yep.
However, when you get these, dare I say this, Antifa, okay, little brats,
yep,
okay, screaming in the cop's face and screaming in people's faces and spray painting and the video. I mean, I don't even have to tell you. The videos are just endless and endless.
It's horrible.
And unfortunately, because now there's been 4 officers murdered.
Yeah.
During all this, it's kind of like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like diluted the sympathy out there.
Yeah. The message is diluted too. All of it's diluted.
It was like, it was so strong early on, and then the cities have just melted down, and the destruction and the stealing, and it just destroyed the message, and it's just sad to watch.
There's a lot of people that are out there that are 100%, activists for anti-racism and equality. And I mean, most of them are saying the same thing. They're like, these are not the protesters. This is a completely different thing.
Yeah, no, they are, and that's, you hit it right on the head.
It's totally true. And they're not, and what it does, I mean, it's what is, I can't put a finger on at this point right now, just sitting here thinking about it. I can't put a finger on what that actually means. Like where the violence, and the destruction of property and the brazen like destruction. I mean, these are destructions of communities, right? Now, there are arguments if people trash a Target, right? Go in, everybody loots stuff. Those people are, in many cases, looters are looting because they don't have money. They're poor. They need things.
Because there's got to be motive there, right?
So there's got to be a motive, right? It's not, and it's like, if they're rolling out of a Target and they're taking something with them, they're doing it because they need the thing and they may not have the money to pay for the thing, right? I get that. I get that Target's a corporation. People have arguments on the sides to say, yeah, you know what? Leave the local businesses alone. And then, if it's a corporate, thing like Target or a Walmart or whatever else, fuck them. They're a corporate, entity. They're complicit. They're complicit in this. And I'm just like, guys, none of this is going to help us create an appropriate, meaningful dialogue. Something that's going to help us all get to the point where we can understand that. And healing is a real thing. There are people that need to heal from this. We need to heal from this. I mean, this is stuff that we see that I'm heartbroken, dude, honestly. Yeah. And I don't,
it's sad.
I've been, not outspoken about a hell of a lot, on this. And I don't think that me being quiet about it online really, I just, there's so much noise.
You're not required.
I don't need to add to it.
You're not required.
I don't need to add to it. And honestly, I also am very, I want to see this from all angles. I will say that,
you have to.
Straight up, I want to look at it as objectively as I can.
Yep.
But here's the simple fact. I'm outraged at the fact this guy was murdered. I'm outraged at the fact that there is still this systemic racism that exists in our country that seems to just not go away. It's like a bad goddamn rash.
It is.
And that kills people, and I'm worried for the future. I'm worried for the fact that I don't see, and many people will agree with this, from a state level all the way up to the hallowed halls of the White House and everything else. We're missing the leadership. We're missing the leadership. Justin Trudeau was on, and it was like a 20-second pause. He had to think about what he was saying, and he was just like, we're mortified. We're mortified at what's happening in the United States. And I'm like, yeah, so am I. So are a lot of other
I think
people.
The world is. I have family. I have family in Denmark.
Yep.
And I have friends I met on a cruise, and they've they asked me a question the other day about COVID and what do you think of Sweden's response versus your response, this and that, and so people are aware. It's everywhere. And the eye of the world is on us right now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So,
and they're looking. In many cases, they're staring at a dumpster fire.
Yeah. If they having popcorn, like, look at the U.S. just melting down. It's awful. But you mentioned something before about like seeing it from different angles.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to throw this out there. Okay. So there was a headline that came across the other day. It says Ned Lamont, who's our governor, is releasing $2.5 million for housing assistance for undocumented. Okay. So immediately there's this public outlash. What is this communist governor doing? Why is he giving all our hard-earned pay to these undocumented? They don't deserve it. I said, just time out.
Yeah.
Time out. Okay. Detach. Okay. Look at it from a different angle or an aerial view. What's driving that decision? Okay. So this is what people are failing to understand is what's driving that decision to release $2.5 million to undocumented people. Okay. My opinion is that they're undocumented first, right?
Yeah.
They're probably not working.
Sure.
They don't qualify for unemployment. So they're not getting that extra bump from the government.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. They didn't receive a stimulus because they probably haven't filed any tax returns.
Mm-hmm.
So they have nothing. Nothing. So I ask you this, Steve. If you had no housing for your children or food in their bellies, what would you do?
I consider myself to be a human before I'm anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I would do what I can to make sure everyone is, as best as could be, safe, sound, fed, and that children are dying in the fucking streets.
Right. So what I would do is anything.
Yeah.
If I woke up and my son and daughter were like, "Dad, I'm hungry."
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're talking about if you were
This is what I'm having you put yourself in the place
I'm
of
putting myself in. Yeah, I'd do anything.
Undocumented,
Dude,
the people that we're talking about.
I mean, yeah,
I would do anything. Okay,
Yep.
up to and including stealing.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever it
Oh
took
my God, yeah.
to house and feed my family. Okay?
Absolutely.
So what I think the governor's trying to do is prevent that. Okay, he's
Sure.
going to put some money in their hands for housing assistance, hopefully some food assistance, so they don't have to go out and do whatever it takes to feed their family. Okay, so that's the way I'm looking at this, and you have to detach and look at it from a different angle. He's in charge of the state. So if these people, or whoever they are, don't have food or housing, they're going to go seek it.
Yeah.
Self-preservation is rule number one. So you definitely have to take some of these things and look at it from a different angle before you just rush to judgment.
Yeah. 5%. 5% of the workforce in Connecticut, best estimate, is undocumented workers. 5%.
Yeah.
I think that's a big number. I mean,
what is it? 3.5 million people in Connecticut? So if you take 5% of that, that's still going to be a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, what they're saying is, this is the start and it's not enough, because what it ends up being is distributed evenly, $8.33 a person.
And what's that?
That's what I'm reading right now. It says with an estimated 120,000 undocumented immigrants in Connecticut, the 1 million in direct aid is modest. So 1 million distributed is modest. I think that there's more money that's going in. I think it's a total of 3.5 million, and that's state and philanthropic dollars. Listen, absolutely. I mean, the thing that you would do anything. I would do anything.
And this is my argument. People.
It's a sound argument.
And the people who are sitting there sounding off, they got food in their bellies. They have a roof over their head.
Yeah, they don't have to.
They don't have those
see it.
hardships.
They don't have to experience it on any other level but their own.
I'm pleading with people. Just be smart. Look at this thing from all angles. Don't just have your shoot from the hip gunslinger response.
Your meme response.
It's crazy. Like, you gotta have a heart.
Yeah.
So that's just my view on that aspect. Is I think the governor's just doing what he can to keep the peace.
You and I talk. You and I talk about it and a lot. I think they're just man. I think there needs to be more jiu-jitsu in the world. I mean, I'll draw the line to where we are, and tip my hat that I'm not wearing, but I tip my hat to you, to the environment and the culture that you built at IPD, and that is, when you sniff out other gyms, it's very similar, right? You leave all that stuff behind when you get on the mats. Mm-hmm. You do, you just do. And when I say all that stuff behind, I mean people treat each other with the utmost respect and care and consideration. People are specifically, it's almost like a requirement to help the person that you're rolling with and the person that you're training with. I mean, it absolutely, it has to be, right? That's the way that you're going to get better. That's the way that the person that you roll with is going to get better. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day and talked to him. He's having some trouble with depression and anxiety and some stuff that's going on in his life. And is talking about, I want to get off this medication and whatever else. And he's like, I was thinking, you talk about jiu-jitsu a lot. He's like, I was thinking about doing jiu-jitsu. And I was like, it'll change your life.
Absolutely.
It'll change your life. Like, and I said that, and I started talking about it, and I said, I did. I was like, it's hard to explain, but the best way I can explain it is the connections that you make. And I'm not going to paraphrase it. You just have to tell me what your how you say it, or you've said it before, is like, some of the best friends you make are the ones that you end up strangling, or say, I don't know what it is.
Or choking you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
They choke you, you choke them. But like, I've noticed there are people that haven't had that experience in their life yet, right? They haven't had an experience where they are in a situation or in an environment where they are under duress and they need to rely on someone else to keep them safe and protected. And I was fortunate enough in my life to do martial arts early on at an early age, and then had a bit of a gap and then got back to jiu-jitsu. But I also was fortunate enough to do things like go mountain climbing and go rock climbing and do alpine mountaineering and stuff like that, where literally the person that is attached to you, right, has their hand on the rope. It is your life in their hands. That creates something that a relationship that is more profound. It's just more profound on the most basic level, right? I think that's completely akin to what we do when we're on the mats. Your life, my life is in your hands.
Well, sure.
Way more,
because...
way more than the other way around. But honestly, like, that is the thing that when I say we need more jiu-jitsu, if more people had the ability to look at a situation or look at a relationship that they had, and not just with a person that you know really well, but that person that comes in for the first time, or that person that comes in to open mat and you don't know who they are. You don't know how good they are, what they know, what they don't know. There is something that is ingrained and built into how you operate on the mats that is different than anything else that I've seen, anything that I've seen anywhere else, right? When it comes to culture, community, relationships, all those other things. I mean, I could go on for forever, but I mean, again, it's changed my life. It's changed your life. I don't know anybody probably that's in the gym that's on the mats that would say that it hasn't.
No, so you mentioned how you act on the mats. Okay.
Yeah.
So how you act on the mats transcends into how you should act in life.
Absolutely.
Okay. Respect, integrity, honor, the ability to be loyal, to your people.
Absolutely.
They're relying on you to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you take a night off, you're not just hurting yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's huge.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, like these people, like they need me. That's okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that's community, and that's huge. It's I cannot express how jiu-jitsu, how much vastly different it is than the other arts I've studied. In regard to
me as well,
how it makes you feel.
Yeah, me as well.
There's something, and we were on a pod. It was a podcast. It was a Zoom call a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember with Dr. Steve?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus one.
Yeah, with Darren.
Yeah,
yes.
with Darren. Yeah.
Okay. So he had mentioned something about striving. There's happiness is not necessarily attached to a goal.
Yeah.
But in the struggle to get there.
Yeah, totally.
That's the happiness. So, I've and I mentioned on there to him, and I don't know if this was a key for him to mention that, but when in jiu-jitsu you share struggle.
You do.
You share struggle, and not everybody will understand it until they do it.
Yeah.
And get into a situation that you have to come up with a solution to solve it. Okay. Yeah. Somebody's choking you. What are you going to do about it? Somebody's trying to armbar you. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Somebody's hurting you in a way that you're like, wow, I could tap and it'll all be over. But I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Until I've gone through my checklist. And I do this every time. I do this in competition. I do this, out here rolling around with you guys. Is there breath in my body? Yes. Is my blood flowing? Yes.
Yeah.
Are any of my joints being murdered right now? Nope.
Yeah.
Do you have fight in you, Todd? Yes. Continue. So I go through that checklist in my mind.
Absolutely.
And that gets me through.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can easily just go, tap, tap, tap. Oh, what happened? Oh, I don't know. I was just feeling a little claustrophobic. I've seen that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I've seen that where people they'll tap because they're claustrophobic. I'm like, wow, that's powerful.
Totally.
You just got inside your own head and said that you can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
So you're going to tap out. And so what I've seen over the years, that the people that had that claustrophobia in the beginning don't have it anymore.
No, they don't.
Because they have practiced, as Dr. Larry would say,
exactly.
They practiced into the world a different person.
Yeah.
A better you.
Yep.
So they've gone through the struggle, they've persevered, and they've moved on. And that's what jiu-jitsu does for you.
And that's profound, man. I mean, the understanding that like someone legitimately is going to was in a world where that level of claustrophobia or pressure or fear is replaced by confidence, forethought, all of the other pieces and parts that are there. Like that's profound. Yeah. That's the difference, right? As far as I'm concerned, that's the difference that I see. We need more of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, I mean, you can't just start.
I wish I could gift it to everybody in the world.
I
dude.
wish if I could give a gift, like, and that's the truth. If you had, you ask these situations, if you had the opportunity to give a gift, one gift across the course of, your lifetime, that would probably be one of the ones that I give.
Dude, I do.
I see people that I know will never, I know they're never going to train.
Right.
But I still make sure to let them know that if they are ever ready, I am going to be the first one there to walk them through whatever they need to be walked through to get on the mats and start to learn and start to change.
Dude, I can't tell you how many people, I mean, I'm 1,000% in agreement with you, because there are people that come in here, okay, and what they'll do is they'll take some classes and they're like, they sign up. Okay. Let's say they're here for, 6 months, a year, whatever. You develop a relationship with that person.
You do, yeah.
Okay. They're legit a second family.
Yep.
And then I'll get a knock on my office door. Lost my job. Things are a little tough right now. I'm going to have to quit jiu-jitsu. Why? Well, I can't pay for it anymore. Okay. So it's free. What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, it's exactly what I just said to you. It's free.
Yep.
So show up tomorrow. Dude, tears rolling down the face. Yeah. Oh my God, I thought I had to. But this is, that's the gift. Because I see what jiu-jitsu has done for that person.
Yeah.
They didn't have a social life before.
Yep.
Now they do.
Yep.
They didn't have friends before. Now they do.
Yeah. Or they had the wrong friends.
And you see, yes, good point.
See that.
You see it, and you know what they did? They cut those people out of their lives because they have people that they're on. That we're all on the same mission.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the best part about this. When we're on the second floor and I'm looking down on the mat when everybody's training, I had this, Mike. His name is Mike. Okay, so had him stand right next to me. We were having a different conversation, but I said, what do you see down there?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I see people training. Oh, okay. Well, look deeper. What do you see?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, dude, I don't know, just people training. I'm like, okay, I'm going to school you on this right now. You know what I see? Everyone down there is on the same mission.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't care if they're Asian, black, white, Hispanic.
Doesn't matter.
Purple, brown, yellow, whatever. All creeds, all races, sexualities, religions. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
And that's what's so beautiful about the mat.
Yep.
And some people will never experience it. Actually, most people will probably never experience it.
It's sad that they won't, man. But
because every time something like this happens in our society, as far as some racial tensions, okay, I see like people of color that I'm friends with on Facebook, and they're like, "Man, when's this stuff gonna end?" Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, you know where you don't see this? Jiu-jitsu.
No, you don't.
You don't see it.
I've never seen it, and I've never heard anything.
You don't hear any racial remarks. You don't hear anything about anyone's sexuality.
Nope.
You don't about religion. Just that, wow, that knee on belly pressure was dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Or dude, that choke was tight.
And every time you say like, wow, that knee on belly pressure was tight, or that choke was totally locked down, that crushed me. Typically, the thing that you hear is, absolutely. You want to see how I did it? Let me show you how I did it.
Absolutely.
You share that information.
Yes.
You move, you grow, you learn, and it's this perfect flywheel. It's this perfect circle that just continues to roll and roll, and everyone gets better. You just see everyone become elevated, right? And it's
and they're carrying themselves differently.
Oh yeah.
You see this, and you've been here long enough where you've seen people just, they just start, they walk in, they're just defeated when they walk in. You see them, and you're like, yeah, that person's going to need some jits.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, they're walking in, they got this glow about them. Their chest is puffed out.
Yeah.
Their shoulders are back. They're carrying themselves differently.
Yeah.
They're, according, like Dr. Larry says, they're practicing that person into the world.
Yeah, it forces you to. Yeah, it forces you to.
It's amazing.
I would assume that there are people that so when somebody asks me about jiu-jitsu, and I try to not be like the first rule of CrossFit, let everyone know you do CrossFit. I don't want to do that with jiu-jitsu,
right.
But I mean, it's a huge part of my life. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm doing it. I love the fact that I'm doing it with my kids, which is a huge deal for me. It gives me a ton of opportunity to spend time with them and to learn with them. One of my kids outranks me. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful thing. And I gush about it, right? But I gush about it for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
It's not about, well, I can do this to you and I can do that to you, and boy, oh boy, that's not what it's about.
It's a secondary benefit.
It is. It's secondary, right? The real truth of it is like it changes your mindset and your view of, to a degree, down the road of the world of everything,
of what people could be.
And there's such value in that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of, I would assume a lot of people just look at it as like people in pajamas rolling around on the ground with each other. Fine. That's cool. Absolutely. You do you. If that's the way you want to look at it. You want to look at it with an unobjective eye. That's cool. But understand the popularity of this sport and where it's going and how much is happening. It's just, I don't ever want to stop doing it.
No. And that's
and it's so hard to not do it right now.
Oh man,
it's
I know.
killing me.
I always say to myself, I'm hoping my body can just carry me through this. Like,
I know.
Till I'm 70 something, and where my body's just like, I can't do it anymore.
It was that totally off subject, but I would say to everyone, that's of the IPD family. And we kind of actually talked about this a little bit because there was a video that was put of Anthony Bourdain, who unfortunately ended his own life. But him rolling as a blue belt, I just loved watching it.
He was in a tournament.
I just love watching him roll.
Won a tournament.
Yeah,
it's great.
It was great, and it was one of those things that like, it just means it's not going to solve that. The point I'm making is like, it's not going to solve everyone's problems.
Right.
It's not going to be a solution to the fact that there are things that jiu-jitsu isn't going to help you with, or you can't solve problems with. There's nothing that's like take the one pill and it's gone. Right. But boy, oh boy, does it enrich your life. Boy, oh boy, does it make life better. Boy, oh boy, does it keep you healthy. And keep relationships in tight and create a community and a family for you. Like all of these things. And again, like we talked about this, and we're supposed to talk about jiu-jitsu right now, right? In this podcast. But at the same time, like I said, we need more jiu-jitsu way early on when we just started talking about it. Now we get to this point and we're like, well, here are all the good things about it.
Yep.
I just roll back to that statement to say that we can get to a place where things are better. We really can. We, without question, we can. We need some type of jiu-jitsu that's gonna affect what's happening, with everyone around the country right now, so that we can slow down, hit that slow button. Everyone needs to, take inventory and understand that like there will be a way that we will find a way to get better.
Yeah.
We have to.
And that starts with me and you. Okay. That starts with the individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we can't keep looking to other people to make things better. No. You got to do it yourself.
Absolutely.
And so this is my motto is help others and make a difference. And that's been my motto, pretty much as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And that's big for me. Like you want to help others and make a difference. You know why? Because they'll help others and they'll make a difference. And then it just passes like this virus.
That's the type of virus. That's the type of virus that you want, man. I mean, that's the thing.
Yep.
The virality. That's what you want. You want that. I mean, and that's what I think everyone would love to have.
Yep. And that's why when you say you're championing, or just I don't know what that word is. I can't even pronounce it.
Championing.
I can't do it either. I can't even say it. All right, you're an ambassador. I could say that word. So you're an ambassador for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Because of the way it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And you want everybody else to feel that way too.
Hell yeah.
And that's the toughest part to get across to people. They're like, well, it's hard. Anything worthwhile is hard.
Yeah, there's no, like you've said, no progress, or whoever said it, no progress made in the comfort zone.
There's no progress in comfort zones. Absolutely. I say it all the time because I saw it on some meme on Facebook.
I love it, man. I use it all the time.
It's perfect. There is
Totally
no progress in comfort zones. And you can get into your own comfort zone. You're like, oh, wow, this is great. I'm comfortable here. There's nothing bothering me. Great. Where's your progress? Where is your struggle?
Yeah.
How are you making yourself better? What have you done to enrich society today? It's like, oh man.
Is there like a fear that struggle? I mean, I think that there's like this overwhelming kind of feeling that I have that like people equate struggle as something negative, and I just don't.
Yeah.
Because
it's been taught to us that way.
But which is to me is crazy, right?
Because and they use it in a negative term, so you're correct. Like, oh wow. You're struggling
hard
right now.
Yeah.
You're struggling.
Oh, they're there. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, I can see, Steve's having a rough time. He's struggling. And so it's always connected to some sort of negative connotation, where it's like, instead, why don't you be like, yeah, dude, oh, man, I was struggling hard on that roll. Oh, this is terrible. It was such a struggle, but, but I came out on top, And so once you start putting it into that context, I think struggle is going to become more of a positive word for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to is the individual.
Yeah, no doubt. That's totally true.
Yeah, just the way I see it. But strive and struggle, man. That's what it comes down to. And I say it all the time. Like if this virus, or this quarantine didn't happen, we wouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah, not at all.
I really don't think so. I don't think you and I would be sitting here right now doing this.
No, happy we are.
And you got to turn whatever negative situation in your life into some sort of positive.
Yeah.
That you can, and you just got to do what you can do. And control what you can control.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when we, press all the buttons on all these cameras and turn this off and whatever, this has been these last. Well, I mean, all the stuff that's going on right now. I just use the word heartbreaking because that's the way that I feel. It's a crusher, man.
Hard to watch.
I mean, really, it's
is.
hard to watch. It's hard to see what's happening. All over the place. It's just hard. And I love my sister. I talk to her. I'm talking to her more, and I'm making a concerted effort to spend more time talking to her because I love having conversations with her. Because as a big sister, she puts me in. She doesn't take any shit, And she's like, she has her opinions, and man, does she have her opinions. But I have mine. She's my sister, right? And so we have these conversations. And we kind of go back and forth on stuff. But what it comes down to is like, we're all dealing with the different aspects of this and seeing it from different, positions and places. Her kids see these things and they're exposed to what they see and how they relay it to her, and my kids the same, and my friends. And like, we need to do more of detaching from, I think texting memes back to each other and news articles and stupid shit, and get on the phone, or get into a more interconnected place.
I see that.
So that we can do. We're forced to do Zoom calls right now, but do it.
Right.
Do it right, as opposed to a text every once in a while and some kind of inflammatory meme that, oh God, come on.
I know.
Like, and that's what, that again, like I say, I'm talking to my sister. I'm talking to my sister because not only do I love her, I need to know that, I've got that, connection, and that we can share the information that we have in a way that's not like, how are you? Thinking of you, boop.
Right.
Done. Text. It's, I talked to her. Geez, I looked at the phone. It's like an hour and a half or something on the phone the other day.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
But it's like, it's insane. But yeah, you don't do that a lot, but I want to do it more. And I think that we all should, we should check in, just like we talked about. I mean, we talked about it before. Mm-hmm. We need to check in with each other.
Sure. And
we really do.
Because it's easy to kind of get into your own little world, and just,
absolutely.
This is all that's going on right now. And it's like, no, it's not.
No.
There's a lot more going on out there. And we have members here that are, that I hate to say the word, but yeah, they're struggling.
Yeah.
Having a tough time, through this. And, reaching out has been important, and not just from from me, you know, from people like you and, you know, Lisa and other people just, you know, being kind of ambassadors for the school and reaching out to these people and making sure that, you know, they're doing okay because, you know, we need you.
Yeah.
You know, and this is, I say this to all the IPD people, we need you.
Yeah.
You know, because the people are what make this place so special.
Yeah, we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for everybody in the family.
I hate taking credit for anything. I do. You know, I get people say, "Oh, dude, it's the environment you foster, and you know, you make it so welcoming, and this and that." I'm like, it's just who I am, and I really think it's the people. Yeah. You know, and that's I'll always go back to that.
Yeah, you're the catalyst, man. I mean, you take it, and you set the standards, and the standards are logical, and they make sense, and they make everyone better, and everyone can see that. So it's natural. It happens naturally. But
God, I love this place,
dude. Love this place,
man. I'm so thankful every day. You know that I just decided to pull the trigger on it. You know, and say, you know, I lost my pharmaceutical job, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to go back into that. Yeah, I was making good money, wasn't happy. Yeah, chose happiness, and so I asked my wife. I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking about starting my school. She's like, well, now's the time to do it. I'm like, it's going to be hard. Yeah. And it was. Yeah. It was.
There's going to be struggle.
Struggle. But through that struggle comes perseverance. Yeah. You know, and they say you make it past 3 years, you're pretty good. You make it past 5, you're probably locked in. You know, we're at 7+ right now. So yeah, it's awesome. You know, I'm just so fortunate, and it really, I'm just going to say it again, it comes down to the people we have here. Yeah. So thankful for you, Steve.
Thankful for
and
you,
your
Todd.
family. Yeah. And you know, the good people here at IPD Jiu-Jitsu. So we've been talking for about an hour. Woo. Yeah, an hour.
It's impressive.
An hour and 1 minute and 32 seconds.
God, who the hell is going to watch all this?
No, nobody.
Nobody. Watch the first 5 minutes and be like, "Cool guys, that was
good
great."
Yeah, good message. Bye. But you know what I'm hoping for this is like people, you know, they get in their cars and they got some windshield time and they just put it on, just listen. Yeah. You don't have to look at my mug. You know, just listen because this is for them. Yeah. And about them. You know, again, not always, since we only had 2 podcasts, but this was sponsored by the IPD people. Yeah. Okay. This podcast, and it is for them.
Absolutely.
Okay. Also, Phantom Workshops.
There it is.
.com. IPD Jiu-Jitsu, which is our school here.
Yes. So, yes.
Tough conversation today.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, this is like, you know, and I had, you know, I know you had some notes, and I had some notes, and I was driving here. I was trying to figure out, like, you know, how do we talk about something this big?
There's not enough time.
Oh my God. I mean, I was like, maybe we should just do this one, and, you know, it'll do like 20, 30 minutes or something. Yeah. And now we're at an hour, and I'm like, oh my God, we haven't even scratched the surface. No. But we don't have to. I mean, honestly, it comes down to this. I think, I mean, my takeaway from this at the end is things are things are fucked up right now. Mm-hmm. They need to get better.
They will.
We need, and we know that they're going to get better.
They have to,
because that's what's happening right now everywhere in this country. People are so enraged by this and so furious, and they want change so badly. I'd be amazed if something doesn't happen. Again, you feel like this has happened so many times before. It's systemic. Yeah. It is a real thing. But God, man, I gotta hope that this time around something happens. And you know, the other point is like we're gonna start rolling again soon. I know it.
June 17th. I'm hoping
that's gonna make people. That's gonna give people some pause to take some inventory, and you know, people that have been missing this, and people that have been missing. I miss everybody that I roll with here. I miss everyone. It kills me. I think about. I mean, honestly, bottom of my heart, I think about everybody that I roll with here, and I wish I could check in with everybody, and we're gonna get there, and it's gonna. I think the people that haven't been rolling are gonna get back, and they're gonna go, whoa, this is okay. Yeah. At least this part of this. Yeah. I feel better now.
Well, because you have some sort of normalcy back in your life, you know, and that's what people are missing.
Yeah.
Community and your normalcy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, through this quarantine, nothing was normal.
No, man. Nothing. There's nothing.
Nothing was normal about that. Craziness. Yeah. So, I guess with that, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for your time, and we'll be back on next week. So I just want to do this for you.
Whoa, that was.
Was that good? Or...
I don't know. Oh, that was good.
Yes,
I
thank
like
you,
that.
Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. That's good stuff. Thanks, everyone.
Just still getting used to this cool thing over here. But...
That's so good.
All right. So,
man.
all right, man.
Yeah.
See you on the flip.
Yeah. Peace.